This is my dad, my mom, and my grandma. I will be performing a speech on low and high context cultures. People from different cultures perceive the world very differently. This can cause hurt feelings, anger, and misunderstanding, something that nobody wants to feel. How can we make this not happen, or how can we fix it? We can do this by learning and understanding. When talking about high context cultures and low context cultures, you can see that our culture affects how direct we are in the use of our language and how we rely on nonverbal communication. Throughout life, you will have to communicate with people all around the world from different cultures. Learning how to understand this can help you tremendously in the future. With high and low context cultures, we will be looking at what culture relies on, how to avoid it, and how they communicate. First, I will be talking about high context cultures. High context cultures relies on contextual clues, nonverbal signals, and the meaning. They express their opinions indirectly. When they come across disagreement, they either say nothing or make it very unspecific. I will now give you a few examples of this. So, I will be talking about family first. Around Christmas time, your grandma may not have the same taste in clothing as you would like, but she still gets you a sweater for Christmas. When you open it up, she's very excited and eager to see if you like it. So she says, "Do you like it?" I say, "Mm-hmm," with a smile, to not hurt her feelings. The next example that I will be using is in a classroom setting. In classrooms, in English class, you proofread other students' papers. When proofreading another person's that I switched with, I noticed they had many corrections on their paper. Although I did not want to make all of them, and I still said good job at the end in order to seem less rude. The next example that I'll be giving is about a coworker. A coworker may come up to you and say, "Hey, you did this wrong," or "Maybe you should put this in the other bucket, not that one." Instead of arguing or explaining why you did something, just say okay and move on. The next I'll be talking about is low context cultures. Low context cultures rely on direct language, they stand out, they want credit for what they say, especially if it was good. They state their true opinion, and they get their opinion out at all costs. I will now be giving you a couple examples of low context culture communication. The first, I will be talking about family. At all family gatherings, politics always come up. So when a family member says something that I may not disagree with, I vary them straight up and say, "Hey, that's not right," and say my true opinion. The next example I'll be giving is about a classmate. A classmate comes up to me and says, "Oh my gosh, I studied for 2 days and I got a B on the test. I'm so excited." In my opinion, that's not very good for studying for 2 days. So I would say, "Oh my gosh, you only got a B? That's a long time to be studying." The next example that I'll be using is a coworker. So coworkers are only supposed to take 15-minute breaks, but this coworker went on break for 20 minutes. Instead of letting it go and not saying anything, I confronted the coworker and said, "Hey, make sure you know that we're only supposed to take 15, not 20-minute breaks." Based on the situation you are in, your values can determine your use of high context or low context communication. Your decision of which tendencies you can use and show in your characteristics and values of your specific culture. Even though people usually follow their culture communication methods, sometimes using the way is not always the most suitable. It is important to analyze situations and to realize that people's intentions may not just be based off of their culture. After hearing many of these different situations, would you use the same method throughout them all just because it is how your culture responds? Thank you.